Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and recently I just hit top 500 in open queue, meaning that I've hit top 500 in every major competitive category in Overwatch, in role queue, open queue, and in the arcade. And because I've hit top 500, and because one of my most asked questions on both YouTube and in my Twitch chat is how do I climb in Overwatch, I feel like it's about time that I give you guys a couple of my tips that I've learned along the way on how to not only climb to top 500, but just climb as a whole in Overwatch. Now, a few disclaimers before we get deeper into the video. I'm not saying I'm the best Overwatch player, and I'm not even saying my advice is the best advice, but everything that I talk about in this video is stuff that I applied to my own 4.5-year-long journey in competitive Overwatch, and if you're willing just to watch this whole entire video and just take bits and pieces of what I talk about and apply it to your own journey, then that makes this video all the worthwhile. I strongly feel like no matter what rank that you're at, you can still learn something new, or at the very least get reminded of what you should be doing. Whether you're a bronze player who just started playing competitive, or you're a veteran Overwatch player, there is something in this video that I feel like is going to be valuable to you. And if you truly believe that no matter what rank that you're at, that you can still improve, then you're already doing the first tip that I'm going to be suggesting to you, which is focusing on improving and not climbing. I get that there's going to be a lot of people that watch this video that want to blame teammates, that want to blame the stupid meta, that want to blame the developers, that want to blame Oh, Jeff Kaplan, how I miss you. But the fact of the matter is, whatever rank that you're at, whether it's gold or platinum or whatever, it doesn't matter. You cannot compete against Grandmaster players. And why is that? Because you are not playing at a Grandmaster level. So you have to improve yourself to be able to play like a Grandmaster player. And the only way that you can do that is if you can stop blaming your teammates, even though, yes, I get it, they suck, but you can't use them as an excuse anymore. You have to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what could I be doing better? And once you adopt that mindset, every single loss that you encounter will be a learning experience and a stepping stone to improving. Stuff like positioning yourself better on a specific hero, or learn the ult economy better, or how to get more valuable picks with a hero in the load up screen. You know, stuff like that will just allow you to naturally improve and naturally win more. Now, it won't make the loss sting any less, and yeah, you will still have bad teammates along your journey, but once you throw that excuse out the window, you'll start to look at the mistakes that you're making yourself, stop making those mistakes, and become a better player over time, meaning that you will just climb naturally because you are improving. You can't climb without improving yourself. And what can you start doing to improve yourself? Well, first and foremost, watching the rest of the video, watching somebody that has done it before, because if you can't sit through a 10 or 11 minute video, then you probably won't be able to have the patience to climb through the ladders of Overwatch to begin with. And having the patience of this video will determine what kind of player you are, because now the second thing that you can do to climb in Overwatch is to master a hero in each and every single role, in tank, DPS, and support. Now you might ask yourself, well, who do I master, Bro You Whack? And in my personal opinion, and I'm gonna have to explain this, it really doesn't matter. Whether it's a super meta hero like Ana, Reinhardt, Zarya, or an off meta hero like Mei, Symmetra, or Orisa. Just be sure not to put all your eggs in one basket, because if you one trick a hero, while you'll learn that hero very thoroughly, there's gonna come a point where a good enemy team is gonna know how to counter your hero, and you're just gonna be SOL. I want you to pick a hero that you're gonna enjoy playing, because who would you rather put 100 hours in? One of your favorite characters that you enjoy playing, or a hero that other people say is good? And for me, I chose the first option, which is learning and mastering Mei. And guess what happened? I mastered one of the worst heroes in Overwatch, and I still got top 500. And why is that? Because I learned what makes Mei powerful. I learned what counters her. I learned who she's really good against. I learned when to use her ultimate, where to position myself, how to use her walls. That can really be said with any other hero. Whether it's Zarya, Reinhardt, Symmetra, Genji, Mercy, Brigitte, you just gotta be able to learn everything about that hero, so that when that time comes where that hero's ineffective, and that most commonly is seen with off-meta picks, then you know, okay, I'm not going to be effective, and then you switch to a different hero. But that's really the end goal when you pick a hero in Overwatch, and is my third tip on how to climb in Overwatch, is to provide value with your picks. No matter who you pick, you really got to ask yourself, is this hero going to provide value for my team? And let's use Zarya for an example. She's a really good and consistent meta pick, but she's not going to provide value in a composition that has Orisa, Widowmaker, Soldier, Lucio, Mercy. Why is that? Because she's not going to really be able to can't bubble any of her teammates besides Orisa, and her ultimate is not going to be of value to any of the DPS heroes because, well, their ultimate can't combine with Zarya. So even though you did pick a valuable hero, it's not valuable in that specific composition. You would rather want to pick like a Reinhardt or a Sigma because, well, in the case of Reinhardt, you have this ginormous shield that can be used with double shield, and your ultimate Earthshatter can be used in tandem with Soldier 76. Just be sure to ask yourself, is this pick going to help somebody on my team, or better yet, counter somebody on the enemy team? Like if they have a Hammond or a Pharah, you can pick McCree or Soldier to counter the Pharah, but McCree would be better because they can also counter the Hammond and the Pharah, bringing even more value to the team. The next tip that I'm going to give you is probably one of the most overlooked thing that helped change my own gameplay in Overwatch, and that is know the position of your hero. If you're a hit scanner sniper, stay on the high ground and as far away as possible to where you can still do enough damage. Main tanks hold the front line and keep the front line. Tracer, Doomfist, Genji, and flankers flank as far away as possible on the side so that you don't get caught in the mix of things. Off tanks, stick with your main tanks. Healers, especially heroes like Zenyatta and Ana, please stay in the back because that will provide you an extra layer of protection. This is such a simple tip, but such a crucial pick because I don't think enough people really value their position and how effective it really can be. Because once I started to master Soldier and staying on the high ground on the top ledge on the first point of Hanamura, nobody can touch me, and the few heroes that could touch me, well, I just had to be able to beat a 1v1 situation, and that's the purest form of who's the better player. Now, the fifth tip I want to talk about that I see a lot of low people not really take into consideration is ultimate timing. This is called ult economy. I see a lot of people with 4, 5, 6 ultimates at their disposal and use all of them. You want to know why some teams are just able to roll you constantly? It's because they have good ult economy. They don't see a 6v3 situation and think, oh, let's use more ultimates. No, once you have the enemy team dwindled down to 3 people, stop using ultimates. You have numbers over them and just kill them naturally. And vice versa. If it's a 3v6, don't use any more ultimates because more likely you're not going to win the fight. There are some instances, but you want to be able to have a full 6v6 fight with some ultimates at your disposal. A simple way that I look at it, and you don't have to follow this verbatim, it's not always going to apply like this, but an ultimate should be used as a substitute for a dead teammate, or should be able to help you win a team fight if the enemy team has a dead enemy. If it's a 5v6 or a 6v5, maybe use your ultimate because it could potentially help you win the fight. Just whatever you do, try not to overlap similar type of ultimates, like CC ultimates, like a Reinhardt ultimate and a Zarya ultimate. You don't need that much CC, and you don't need a Soldier ultimate and a Genji ultimate. No, you just need one killing type of ultimate. Once you start to use ults one after another, it almost seems like every team fight you have an ultimate, because when you don't have your ultimate, well, you're building ult charge when your fellow tank or DPS are using their ultimate. Now, the sixth tip was my biggest hurdle, but once I started to look at abilities like this, I started to get a lot more value out of them, but it's to have purpose with your abilities. Now, there are some abilities that have a low, like 4 or 3 second cooldown that, yeah, maybe you don't need to have that much value, but something like Baptiste's Immortality Field or May's Ice Wall or Ana's Anti-Grenade shouldn't just be used willy-nilly. You should be able to have a purpose and know that once you use that ability, that's either A, gonna save a teammate or kill an enemy. The purpose of the Mei Wall should prevent someone from escaping. The purpose for the Sombra hack is to prevent the D.Va from defense matrixing your ulting soldier. The purpose for the Ana Anti-Grenade should prevent the Roadhog from self-healing. You know, the list goes on, but just going back to the Ana Grenade example I listed beforehand, you know, I see lots of people use the Ana Grenade on their own teammates because they have the ability and they can't hit their shot, so they think, oh, an easy heal. When no, that's a waste of an ability when it should be used on the Roadhog or the Bastion or somebody that just needs to be confirmed on a kill, or used in a giant team fight where you can splash it on multiple allies. Because once you need that ability, you're gonna regret just using it because it didn't have any purpose or value. Just remember this. Just because you have the ability does not mean you need to use the ability. The seventh tip is one that stirs up a lot of controversy, and I don't know why. Like, I kind of know why, but I also don't know why, but it's communication. Just simply being able to either A, communicate with your team, or B, listen to the communication with your teammates. And the reason why I think this gets a lot of flack is because there are people that suffer from social anxiety, or because of toxic teammates that make them have a bad time when playing Overwatch, or simply just because they're a girl and they receive sexist comments. So I get it, and I've learned that, yeah, communication maybe isn't for everyone. But luckily, that's not the only thing that prevents you from climbing in Overwatch, but I will say that is a very key thing that could help you, because nothing is more valuable than knowing when your Sombra is going to hack someone, or when your Zarya has bubble and you're Winston and you need to go in and dive, or when Lucio has speed boost and when you're going to go super aggressive and you have your ultimate as Genji. Just knowing any kind of information is better than not knowing that information. But if you don't want to communicate with your team, then that's fine. I've climbed communicating with my teammates and without, and I definitely can conclude that it's a lot easier to play Overwatch when I can tell my team, hey, there's somebody flanking in the back and I have my ultimate ready. The 8th tip that I want to give you is to optimize your settings. If you're on console, try to have a higher sensitivity, and on PC, try to have a lower sensitivity so that you get a little bit more accurate with shots. Anything under 50 on console, I feel like you need to reconsider. When it comes to the controller, try to utilize the left thumbstick as a button. Like with me and Soldier, I have that with a run ability because I don't want to constantly be moving my left index finger away from the left trigger because that's my Helix rocket. I don't want to pull it off in case I need to do an insta flick with the Helix rocket. And if you're on a monitor, try to get a higher FPS because there are some times when you have the wrong setting and you don't have a higher FPS. You know, there are just a lot of things internally on your console or your PC that you can do to improve your experience on Overwatch. And I've even seen some people on PC Overwatch just completely lower their settings. Like, it's kind of counterintuitive, it seems, but it's actually somewhat better because you don't have all these things just bogging down you and the enemy. You are there to kill the enemy, not really look at the pretty trees. Now, the 9th tip might seem a little bit vague, but it won't be that vague once you pick a hero that you want to master. But the 9th tip is to practice your main, but really practice your main. Learn it inside and out. If it's McCree, going into the Onabot training method and just learning how to flick shot and get better aim. If it's Roadhog, going into the game browser and learning how to hook at all different angles. If it's Mercy, learning how to e-girl super jump. You know, I can't really give specific tips for each and every single hero because I'm wanting this to be as short of a video as possible. But I can't spoon feed you everything because you're a big boy, you're a big girl, you're a big they, them. You can easily look on YouTube and type in your main and learn the best Diva Bomb spots or the best Tracer routes or the best Doomfist rollout spots. There are tons of videos for your main, I promise. But also looking on Twitch and watching the top 500 players who play your main. If it's Tracer, then watch Dante. If it's Widowmaker, then watch Kefri. If it's Mei, then watch me. There's obviously not one right way to play a hero, but those players are obviously playing the hero in a right way. And just by watching them and watching how they position themselves and who they attack and who they focus, it'll just naturally get implemented in your mind like, oh wait, this is what Dante did when he flanked as Tracer and he focused the Ana and not the Roadhog. You know, just simple stuff like that will naturally translate into your own gameplay. And the final tip for this video is to have fun, but really have fun. This isn't a life or death situation. You're not gonna get cut from an Overwatch League team just because you're losing SR. Take every single loss as a learning experience and try not to get too frustrated. Remember, you're not gonna die just because you lost 25 SR. I get it, it's frustrating, I get it, you're competitive, but that's just gonna ruin your chances of climbing because you're all pissed off and you're not thinking and you're getting tunnel vision. Try to take this as lighthearted as possible and try not to get so fixated because remember, while yes, your teammates suck, you have no control over them. Yes, it sucks that you have levers and throwers and bad teammates, but if you keep using them as an excuse, then you have no reason as to why you need to improve because, well, you're perfect. You make no mistakes. And we all know that's not true. You make at least one mistake every single game. And if you keep trying to look for that mistake and fix it, then you're just going to improve naturally. But hopefully I taught you something in this video because mainly what I'm wanting you to do is to think for yourself and look at yourself and wonder, what can I do to get better? And hopefully I did do that for you. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.